Japan's saving miracle is over. For decades, this country was the gold standard for financial discipline, a nation where families saved around 15% of their income. But today, that cushion is vanishing. The savings rate has plummeted. Inflation is rising, wages are frozen, and Japan is now facing a financial time bomb that could shake the global economy. But this isn't just about Japan. It's a warning. If you are in the US, Europe, or anywhere in the developed world, the forces dismantling Japan's savings culture are already knocking at your door. The question isn't if you should save, it is how much you need just to survive the storm. That's why in today's video, I'll show you what went wrong in the world's most disciplined saver nation, how much you should have saved by age 30, 40, 50 and beyond. And I'll give you 3 proven Japan-inspired strategies that will help you fight back no matter where you live. Let's get started. The idea of Japan as a nation of super saver is burned into our minds. In the 1980s, it wasn't a myth. Japanese households were saving around 15% of their disposable income. But that Japan is gone. Today, the household savings rate has fallen dramatically, averaging around 4% for the past 20 years. This means the financial cushion protecting families is dangerously thin. So, how did a country famed for its financial discipline end up here? It was a slow-moving, 3-part catastrophe. First, the psychological scar of the lost decades. After Japan's massive asset bubble burst in the early 1990s, nearly 30 years of economic stagnation and deflation followed. In response, the Bank of Japan, or BOJ, slammed interest rate to near zero and even negative, teaching an entire generation that saving money in a bank was pointless. Your money simply won't grow. Second, just as Japan got used to deflation, inflation suddenly returned around 2022. Global supply chain chaos and soaring energy costs sent price climbing a lot. The most recent example is the price of rice, nearly doubling in 1 year. This created the perfect storm. The cost of living went up, but paycheck stuck for 30 years did not. Third, the most unstoppable force, Japan's demographic time bomb. Japan is the oldest society in the world, with a huge proportion of its population retiring. People save during their working years and de-save in retirement, spending down their nest egg, which is normal. A primary driver of Japan's falling national saving rate is this massive group of elderly citizens drawing down their accounts, a trend accelerated by declining public pension benefits and the overall population decline. And before we go to the next section, it would be fantastic if you could give this video a like. That would help make it available to many more people and help me a lot as well. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Let's get to the heart of it. To understand the gap between reality and what's needed, let's look at the situation in Japan. And because averages can be misleading, we look at the median savings, which is the true midpoint with half of the people above and half the people below that line. Here's the current reality for a typical Japanese household based on the most recent data. It's me from the future. Some data got updated, so allow me to give them to you. In your 20s, the median savings are 1.2 million yen, with the median salary at 3.2 million yen and the average salary at 3.6 million yen. Arriving in your 30s, the median savings go up to 3.1 million yen, with median salary of 4.2 million yen and an average of 6.3 million yen. Going into the 40s, the median savings shot up to 5 million yen, with the median salary of 4.5 million yen and an average salary of 8 million yen. Going into the 50s, the median savings are up to 7 million yen, with a median salary of 5 million yen and an average at 8.8 million yen. And now we arrive at the 60s, where the median savings are shooting all the way up to 12 million yen, with a median salary of 3.9 million yen and an average salary of 6.6 million yen. Not pretty, is it? Now, let's get back to the past. Now, let's compare that reality to this benchmark from financial planners worldwide. It will help you stay on track no matter where you live. And to make it even easier, we'll break it down by age using a multiple of your annual salary as the goal. First, your target is 1 time your annual salary saved. In your 20s, the focus is all on building good habits and getting rid of your student loan and any high interest debt like a credit card debt or consumer debt. This should be your #1 priority. Save any. But if you already have enough leeway because you already took care of that, this also means setting up a solid emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. This is the fund that you can use in case you cannot work for 3 to 6 months because your job is gone or because you have a health or family issue. It will help you cover your living expenses like your housing, your food, utilities, transportation, health, insurance, debt repayment, clothing. So nothing fancy, but it's very helpful until you can land back on your feet. And most importantly, starting your retirement contributions, no matter how small. The magic of compounding is at the absolute peak in these early years. So the recommendation is 15% of your monthly income, but you can start with 10%, then you progressively increase your contribution from your income. And to have all of this done, or well on track at least by the time you reach your 30th birthday. Your 30s are typically when your income starts to climb. And you also have some life events that will cost you money. For example, marriage, which happens around 31 years old for men and 29 years old for women on average. A house, maybe you're starting a family. So you need a solid foundation to construct the mainframe of your financial house. This means a clear budget that you follow, getting rid of all of your debt, except the mortgage for your house, and really ramping up your saving rate, including an education fund for the kids you have or you will have in the future. Overall, you should be aiming for 3 times your annual salary in savings by the time you reach your 40th birthday. When you're in your 40s, the goalpost for saving moves to 6 times your annual salary. That's a lot, but there is a reason for that. At this point, retirement isn't some distant idea. It's on the horizon. Your kids might be getting a bit more independent, which can free up some cash that should go directly into your retirement account, and you can have a clear plan to finish paying back your mortgage and plan precisely for your retirement. How precise, you might ask? You should have a clear idea of how much money you will need every year and see if there is any gap with your level of savings. If you need other revenue streams, including pension, that can help with the gap. This is your peak accumulation phase, where you make the biggest gains. This is your last chance to make it work in the future. The final benchmark is 8 to 10 times your final salary when you are in your 50s. This is the nest egg that will need to support you for the next 20 to 30 years. Hitting this goal is what gives you the security and the freedom to start working on your own terms. These numbers can feel really, really huge, especially if you're just getting started, right? But remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. The most important thing is to start now and stay consistent. Please do not hesitate to share in the comments down below whether your savings are already hitting this benchmark, or maybe they're over this benchmark, or maybe they are a little bit behind. I will read all the comments and we can share our experiences and everybody can benefit. So, how do you actually get there? Ironically, while Japan's national savings are in crisis, its culture still offers timeless principles we can adapt for the modern world. The Kakeibo is a traditional Japanese household financial ledger. It's more than a budget, it's a tool for financial mindfulness. The process is simple. At the start of the month, you write down your fixed income and expenses and set a saving goal. Then, you track every single purchase and categorize it. At the end of the month, you review and reflect. Where did I overspend? Where can I do better? You don't need a physical book, though there are many you can still find in stores like these ones. A simple spreadsheet or a budgeting app works just fine. The magic is in the ritual of consciously tracking and reflecting. There are several examples of Kakeibo you can find online that I'm referencing down below. This is something I do regularly. It keeps me on track. The war on waste. Mottainai is a cherished Japanese concept expressing a deep regret over waste. The extreme example that many of you might know is the house decluttering guru Marie Kondo, who mercilessly declutters home by giving or throwing away unused items that do not bring joy. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Without going that far, Mottainai is the feeling you get when you see good food being thrown out. Apply this philosophy to your money. Do a Mottainai audit. Go through your bank statement and hunt for financial waste. That streaming service you haven't used in 6 months, Mottainai. That daily coffee habit that adds up over $100 a month. That too, Mottainai. A few coffees is okay. Every single day, several times a day, maybe not. Those free trials that secretly turn into monthly charges, or the gym membership you have never used. That's the definition of Mottainai. Cutting this waste can free up hundreds of dollars a month to redirect towards your goals. Maybe they are to pay down your debt. Maybe it's to bring some money for down payment for a house, or just going towards your retirement funds. But do not do it alone. Bring your family into the Mottainai audit. You can start by just looking at clothing, games, and other things that no one uses anymore. And you can give them to charity or sell them on Mercari, which is the local equivalent of Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. If that becomes a habit, it becomes easier to do. The Japanese government knows it has a savings problem. To fight it, they radically overhauled their tax-free investment program, the very famous NISA or Nippon Individual Savings Account. We've talked about it many times before on this channel, but I'm just going to give you a very, very brief summary. In 2024, they made the system permanent and dramatically increased the amount people can invest tax-free to 18 million yen, pushing them to shift from stagnant cash to productive investment. The program has been really a big success, with investment levels soaring to never seen before. But we should not forget that's not the only player in town. There are also the iDeco and DC retirement accounts, which are the equivalent of the US 401k, for example. Now, let me give you a concrete example of why this matters. If the average Japanese employee making the median income, overall income of 4 million yen, puts 15% of her or his income to a NISA account, with the average 6% market return in Japan, from the age of 30 to 65-year-old. It comes to a total, and listen up, to a total of 80 million yen, which is about $536,000 for you that are watching from abroad. It's not to be frowned upon, especially when you remember the savings amount we just looked at a bit earlier. Now imagine if they get the US rate of return of 8%, or start earlier, or invest even more money, then the sky is the limit and everybody can have way better retirement. So the lesson here is universal. You can't afford to have your savings sit idle in a low interest account when inflation will eat them for lunch. Except maybe for your emergency fund that you should not play around with. In that case, putting in a savings account that has the highest interest rate you can find, but also the safest. For the rest, you must invest. Whether it's a 401k, an IRA, or any other tax advantage account in your country, the principle remains the same. Put your money to work in low-cost, diversified investment like mutual funds or ETF, so it can actually outpace inflation and grow over the long run. The story of Japan's savings crisis is a sobering tale of how quickly financial security can unravel. It's a critical warning that the old financial rules, work hard, save money in the bank, and retire comfortably, are broken. Building wealth and securing your future requires active participation. It demands the mindfulness of the Kakeibo, the discipline of the Mottainai, and the strategic wisdom of investing. The threat is real, but now you have the playbook, you have the benchmark, and you have the strategies. Please let me know in the comments down below if you are already using these strategies or if you have different ones. And if you enjoyed this content or learned something, please consider giving it a like and subscribing if you haven't done that already. And if you want to know more about Japan and personal finance, do not hesitate to check these videos. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, goodbye.